You wake up, go to work, come home, sleep, and repeat. You do this for decades. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, you might stop and ask yourself a question that's hard to answer. What's the point? Not in a depressed way, not as a cry for help, just as an honest question. What is the meaning of all this? And the uncomfortable truth is, there might not be one. At least not one that's written into the universe. For most of human history, meaning was given to us. Religion provided answers. Culture provided structure. You were born, you served a purpose in your community, you followed the rules, and when you died, there was something waiting. It wasn't perfect, but it was clear. Then science started answering questions that religion used to own. Where did we come from? Evolution. Why are we here? No reason, just chemistry and time. What happens when we die? Nothing, probably. And suddenly, the structure collapsed. In 1882, philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche wrote something that would haunt philosophy for the next century. God is dead, and we have killed him. He didn't mean it literally. He meant that the framework we used to understand existence had crumbled, and we were left standing in the rubble, holding the question. If nothing means anything, then what do we do? Some people found this liberating. If there's no inherent meaning, then we are free to create our own. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre argued that existence precedes essence. You're not born with a purpose. You create one. You define who you are through your choices. That sounds empowering, and in some ways it is. But it's also terrifying. Because if meaning is something you have to create, then you can also fail at it. You can spend your whole life building something that, in the end, doesn't matter. And even if you succeed, even if you create something meaningful, the universe doesn't care. The heat death of the universe will eventually erase everything. Every book ever written, every song ever sung, every life ever lived. Gone. So does that make meaning pointless? Maybe not. Maybe the fact that meaning is temporary is exactly what makes it valuable. A song is beautiful not because it lasts forever, but because it ends. A sunset is meaningful precisely because it fades. And maybe, in the same way, your life matters because it's brief. Because if you had infinite time, nothing would be urgent. Nothing would feel important. It's the limitation that creates the value. There's a concept in philosophy called absurdism. It was developed by Albert Camus in the 1940s, and it starts with the same observation that troubled Nietzsche and Sartre. Life has no inherent meaning. The universe is indifferent to our existence. But instead of despairing, instead of giving up or pretending the problem doesn't exist, Camus suggested we do something different. We accept it. We look directly at the absurdity of our situation. We acknowledge that the search for meaning is absurd, that we are trying to find answers in a universe that doesn't provide them, that we are creatures who need purpose in a reality that has none to offer. And then we keep searching anyway, not because we'll find an answer, but because the search itself is what makes us human. It's the act of questioning, of striving, of creating, that defines us, not the answers we discover. Camus used the myth of Sisyphus as a metaphor for the human condition. Sisyphus was a king who defied the gods and was condemned to an eternal punishment. He was forced to push a massive boulder up a mountain, only for it to roll back down every time he reached the top. And then he would have to start again. Forever. An eternal, meaningless task. A punishment designed to break his spirit through futility. But Camus argued that we should imagine Sisyphus happy, not delusional, not pretending his task has meaning, but genuinely at peace. Because even though the task is meaningless, it's his. He owns it. He defines it. He chooses how to face it each day. And in that ownership, in that defiance, there's a kind of freedom. The freedom to decide what matters, even when nothing objectively does. The freedom to find joy in the struggle itself, not in reaching some imaginary destination. So maybe meaning isn't something you find written in the stars or handed down from above. Maybe it's something you decide for yourself, moment by moment, choice by choice. You wake up, go to work, come home, sleep, repeat. The cycle continues, indifferent to your doubts and questions. And somewhere in the middle of it, you make a choice. Not to find the ultimate answer to why you're here, but to create one anyway. To say this matters to me, even if the universe disagrees. To choose what you care about, who you love, what you build. Because in a universe that doesn't care, the fact that you do might be the only meaning that matters. That small rebellion against indifference. That quiet insistence that your life, your choices, your love means something, even if only to you.